Greetings, beautiful earthlings. My name is Star. If you are new here, I don't know how you found me, but I'm super grateful to have you. And if you are returning, y'all the real MVP, you already know. So I know you guys already saw the title, you already know why we're here, but just humor me and pretend we don't know why we're here, okay? Because this is a huge moment for me right now, like the biggest moment I've had in years. And I need to be excited about it, and I need you guys to be excited about it with me, okay? So if you're not already following me on TikTok, first of all, what are you doing? Go follow me. You already know, blah, blah, blah. But I did already drop, spoilers this morning on TikTok about it. So if you guys want to go see like my unboxing, like my opening video, I have that on TikTok. I tried to post it on Instagram and it's just like not working. So I'm going to keep trying. If it doesn't work, it's on TikTok. But anyways, I made a tarot deck. And this is something that I never thought I would do. Like, I've been talking myself out of it for years. I've been making a really big deal about it. And one day I was sitting there, I was making a video about my Starman Tarot. And I thought about it and I was like, if I had to get rid of all of my tarot decks and only have my favorite two, it would be the Starman Tarot and in my brain, I was like, I love David Bowie and Mac Miller, but there's no Mac Miller tarot deck that exists. And it was really like irking me for some reason. I was like, why hasn't anyone made a Mac Miller tarot deck? There's so many Mac Miller fans. And then I was like, well, I have seen a couple other witches in the community on TikTok that love Mac Miller. Like, it's not unheard of that witches love Mac Miller, right? We grew up around that time when Mac Miller was, making music. So it's not unheard of that we would love Mac. He was a big influence in, our time and our generation. So I was like, you know what? If a Mac Miller tarot deck existed, what would it look like, right? I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a Mac Miller tarot deck for me. Just for me. Because I'm having this issue with doing like TikTok readings. I can't find the inspiration to be doing daily readings, right, for any kind of exposure. Or for the sake of doing my fucking job, which is being a tarot reader, right? Getting the message out, spreading the word, spreading the gospel, whatever you call it. And I'm kind of just having an issue like finding inspiration to wanting to do that every day, especially when the messages that come out are always fucking love messages. It's kind of frustrating, right? And I feel like if I had a tarot deck that I love so much that I wanted to handle it every single day, maybe that would help me, right? This was my train of thought, okay, in the whole situation that unfolded. So I wanted to talk to you guys today about my tarot deck. I want to tell you all about the process of making it. I want to tell you how I see each card, right? I want to really talk about it with you. So for those of you guys who have made it here at 3:33, look at that. For those of you guys who have made it here and you're like, okay, shut the fuck up, I want to see the deck. All right, I'll put the link down below where you can watch the walkthrough, Sassy Pants. You don't have to listen to me, right? Go ahead, go take a look at the deck, go hit that link if you want. But for those of you guys who care about me or about the making of this tarot deck, cozy up with me, take a seat, go get a drink, go get your coffee, get your water, get your tea, whatever. And let's just like sit down and have a little chit chat, okay? Because I really want to talk about this and like I really want you guys to know like how special this deck is to me. I see this as an art piece. I see this as a cohesive storyline. I see this as a book, like a memorial book, It's just so it's so special to me, okay? So let me shut the fuck up. And let me show you, here's the back. It says Memento Mori, and this is his little astronaut guy, and I made it blue because of the astronaut. I wanted it to be cohesive. I did also use blue gilding. Ah, look at her. Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that so much. And I feel like putting any other color on this blue just wouldn't feel right. Maybe silver, but it didn't feel right to me. I felt like the blue was the best way to go for this cohesive look with the backing. So here she is. I did put Star Sparrow Tarot on it on the front because like I had to put my name on it somewhere. Just because I had to put my name on it somewhere. It's my deck. And it's made out of linen cardstock. Let me see if I can get you in there. This is linen cardstock. I did pull out all the stops for this deck because I wanted to love it, and I wanted you guys to love it. It was a very expensive little thing to make, but it was so very worth it, and I'm so glad that I pulled all the stops that I did. So it does have linen cardstock. The linen is glossed, and I did put gilding on it. This is a thinner cardstock, though, I'm gonna warn you, and I did that on purpose because I really don't like the idea of having a deck that you love so much inside and out, but when you go to shuffle it, the cardstock's too thick and it hurts your fingers, and I just did not want that to be a complaint that I had with a deck that I made for me personally, right? I sat there for so long thinking about it, and I'm glad that I went with this cardstock that I did. Now, that might mean that it might wear out a little sooner. I don't know how long linen lasts or how easily it wears because, let's be honest, I have 70 tarot decks. I've never worn through one, but I feel like comfort is more important with a tarot deck than longevity, to be honest, because I've seen people who are using some beat up old decks and they just love them, right? If you really love that deck, you really vibe with that deck, I really don't feel like it fucking matters if it's a little bit worn over time because you just love it that much. Most of us, like me, will go buy more, right? I buy more. I have like 5 copies of the Lightseers on me because I know one of them's gonna wear down eventually, and I feel like if that thing sells out, I'm gonna be so heartbroken, right? So anyways, that's why I have the choices that I made. And at the beginning, I did make a little tribute card to Mac. Because you know how most tarot decks have like title cards? There's like a title card and like a copyright card or whatever. I thought about it, and the only thing that seemed right to do was to write a little tribute to Mac. Because let's be honest, this deck was an art piece that was made between me and Mac. And I am so very grateful to Mac for allowing me to create this work of art and allowing, first of all, for using me as the vessel to do it. But just being here with me, right? Being here with me all the time. I had crazy synchronicities happen while I was creating this deck. First of all, I have a crazy story about the Empress card. Me and my boyfriend were driving one day, and someone had like car paint like all over their windows, right? And I saw like numbers all over one window, so I didn't really think anything of it. And then my boyfriend goes, "Babe, look!" And I was like, "Yeah, I saw it." And he goes, "No, look!" And their back window, I'll show you. I'll put a picture in here. Their back window had a picture of a Mac Miller song, like as if it was playing a Mac Miller song, which is The Spins. And we both like tripped out so hard, like, what are the odds? What are the odds of anything that could have been written on that person's card? It's a Mac Miller song, right? So crazy synchronicities. And then today when I went to go grab the damn thing out of the mailbox, I saw a grasshopper sitting on the stop sign. At first I was like, what the fuck is that? It looked like someone put a toy on top of the stop sign. And I was staring at it and I was like, is that a stick bug? Is that a praying mantis? No, it was a grasshopper, a big old grasshopper on top of the stop sign, and I just thought it was the coolest fucking thing. So, first card is a title card. It says, "We remember Mac Miller, birth date, past date, rest in paradise." It says, "This tarot deck was created as a commemorative piece of fan art, all rights reserved to the original photographers. I don't claim to own any of the pictures." And then it says, "From one fan who will never forget, I hope more Mac heads can gather together and appreciate the intention behind this compilation of famous pictures of Mac. He's always with us in his music if you just take the time to listen." So, like I said, I spend a lot of time with Mac. And then at the very end, I'm going to show you this before I get into the cards. So at the very end, I do have one more card, which is Mac Miller's writing on like a bathroom stall. It says, "I am Mac Miller. I once lived. Now I am dead. My soul remains here. Enjoy. P.S. I sold out this place like 3 times." And this is so cute because it says, "My soul remains here." Because I really wanted, there's a lot of pictures on the internet of all of the things that he signed when he was alive, right? Like Love Mac Miller, you know, Love Always, things like that. I wanted to put something like that in this deck because, again, I feel like this was a work with Mac. Take that as you will, but I wanted to have him somewhere in here as well, acknowledging the piece to the person who's purchasing it, right? And this one just felt the most, like, respectful. Like, he didn't actually sign this, right? But this even says, "I once lived and now I'm dead." And as morbid as that is, again, Memento Mori, as morbid as that is, we are acknowledging that he's no longer here with us, but he is here with those of us that want him to be here with us, right? So I'm going to go through the cards, and some of them have more of a story than the others. So this might be a little kind of a long video, and I'm sorry for those of you guys who don't like long videos. I'm like getting ready, right? I'm getting comfy. But I do want to go through these cards with you guys because I know somewhere down the line, someone's going to have questions about my intentions behind the cards. Okay, so first of all, like I said, some of these are going to have longer stories than others. Some of them just work, right? Some of the images just work. And I did want the images to be as close to cohesive with the actual cards themselves, and I tried. I tried without actually like creating images myself, right? These are all images that exist already. So with this one, this is Max, Doggy, Ralphie, and you guys already know the full card. If I'm a good editor, I'll pop in a picture. The full card is of a guy with his dog. So I thought this was perfect. That worked out exactly perfect. Nothing else needed, right? And I'm sorry to those of you guys who are going to be bothered by the fact that the words and the numbers move around and I have upwards and sideways cards. I know sometimes I've even complained about that myself. It just worked for making the deck. And sometimes like I needed to put the letters where you could see them because these are not like uniform backgrounds, okay? I'm trying to help you guys out with readability. But this, I'm gonna preface this by saying this, tarot deck is not for beginners, so if you don't know the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot reading system, please go learn that first. You cannot pick this up as your first deck. You can pick it up as like a tribute fan art piece and hold on to it until you learn the tarot, but this is not a beginner deck. This doesn't have any of the original Rider-Waite-Smith imagery involved, clearly. And also, parents, if you're watching, there are images of drinking and smoking involved in these pictures, okay? So be warned, this is not like a PG family deck. I'm sorry, it's Mac Miller. He was a rapper. You already know like the lifestyle he lives. So he lived. Here's Mac as the Fool. I love that card. For the Magus, I just wanted to do something specifically with him doing his thing. That's it. Because I know the Magician can have negative connotations, but in this deck I wanted it to be a positive card of making things manifest that you work hard for. A lot of this deck is centered toward that because Mac was a really hard worker. He was a really driven person. It shows in his music. He talks about it all the fucking time. And I really wanted the Magus to be about just you doing your thing, making manifest whatever it is you're trying to bring about in the world for you, right? I don't think... I could be wrong. I don't think Mac was rapping for money. I feel like he was rapping because it came from him, from his heart, from his soul. He just needed to make music. That's how a lot of real musicians are. They need to make music. It's just in their heart, in their soul, in their blood, in their veins, right? And that's how I feel about Mac. That's how I perceive him. So for me, for the Magus, it's just him on stage, right? Okay. Then for the High Priestess. I know some of you guys are going to get mad. Yes, Ari's in this deck. I'm sorry. I love Ari. She's in this deck. She was a part of his life. She is in this deck. I also have his other girlfriends in here. The girlfriend before Ari and the girlfriend after Ari. And I do throw a little shade at Ari in here too. So, alright, chill out. But for the High Priestess, I could think of none other than this image. I've seen this image 100 times and I had to make this the High Priestess image. Her face is partially hidden. This image looks as though she is the one running the show, right? She's the one in charge. No shade to Mac, again, but if you know his relationship he had with Ari before it all went to shit, you know how he saw her, you know how he felt about her. So this was the perfect image to me, just her face being partially hidden. She's a little bit in the background. Like the High Priestess is like a secretive image. This is technically like a funny, but it's typically like a nun image, right? Like someone in the church and they just know things and they're all robed and clothed and everything, and secrecy, it's important, right? So that's why I chose this image. Yes, she's in here a couple times. I'm sorry for whoever it triggers. The Empress card, we had to put Mama in there. We had to put Mama in there because again, I have a really crazy story with that, but I'll leave it out so as to not have so much fucking chatter in this video. But it just felt right putting Mama as the Empress, because when I was looking for images of Ari to put as the Empress, I was going to put the picture of her doing that God is a Woman song where she's sitting on the world. I was going to do that imagery as the Empress, and I saw a picture of Mac's mom, and it just... clicked, and I was like, I have to put mama in there. And I didn't want to be disrespectful about putting his mom in there. I don't know how, you know, he would feel about that, or his mom to that extent as well, but I feel like this was the right choice for the Empress, and it wouldn't be right to just put mama in there because she means so much to Mac. Like, she means so much to Mac. You can hear it in his music, and all of the pictures that he is with her in, he is so fucking happy. He's beaming, and I love that. I wanted that energy at the heart of my deck. I needed that in there because it's like, that's the heart. That's where it is, right there. Remember I said heart of the cards? I know I was making a Yu-Gi-Oh joke, but that's where it is, right there. It's not in all these other girls or all these things he was doing in his life. It's right here at the base. So for the Emperor, you know, big boss man sitting in a chair. It's super simple. I did find a couple other images that I really liked as well, but I feel like this one is the best because Steve from Steve's Love Tarot is always talking about how, like, the Emperor is sitting in his papasan chair, like, waiting for you to come to him. And this, I feel like, gives that same type of energy of just, like, you know, I'm doing my own thing. He's over here, he's recording, he's making music, right? He doesn't fucking care if you come to him or not. He's like, what are you doing here? Do you mind? I'm busy, right? And this was like the perfect Emperor picture for me in my mind. Hierophant, of course, him standing in front of a crowd on a stage. But I love this view, this POV, because it's him looking at the crowd. So it's, when you think about the Hierophant is like a spiritual figure, a spiritual leader, right? Him in front of a crowd. It doesn't get simpler than that. Lovers, again, sorry, they're cute. I loved them. I'm sorry, but this is cute as fuck. I saw a lot of other pictures I would have liked better, but I like the framing of this picture. This is a much bigger picture. I cropped it just like that so that it actually makes a heart, and we put the lovers right in the middle. I love it. I'm sorry, I just love the framing on this one. It's so cute. And the Chariot, I went back and forth with myself on this one. I was going to use the G-Wagon. I felt like that was a little disrespectful. So I found this picture of just Mac driving, and I just cropped it. I just love the way that looks. Ooh, that picture's so good. It's so crispy and saturated. For the Strength card, I was looking up a picture of Mac with a cat, because we all know there's a lion on the Strength card, right? It's important. And some people use a tiger, whatever. It's important to have a lion on the Strength card, some kind of representation of a lion, right? But when I was looking for pictures of Mac with a cat, they don't exist. So I found Mac with Thundercat. And if you guys don't know who Thundercat is, he's a musician. I would say bassist, but I feel like he's an all-around musician. And Mac did quite a few songs with him, I'm sure. I don't want to act like I know, because I know of one song specifically that Thundercat is on, but I'm sure there's probably more. But my favorite performance of Max is the NPR Tiny Desk concert, and he does do a song with Thundercat where they're just like vibing and they're riffing, and it's so cute, and I love that energy, and I really love the thought of having Thundercat in here as my lion, my Strength card, my cat, right? I love it so much. It's so cute. And this was a Polaroid picture, so it just worked out perfect for the framing. So for the Hermit, I know this one looks like a joke, and I had to. Some of these cards are just like poking fun because I have to, because Mac has so many pictures, like so many fucking pictures. Some of them are really funny and some of them are really serious, and I wanted to portray that in my deck, that there's, you know, a lot of sides to this guy. He's a fully formed, like, multi-dimensional person, right? And with the Hermit card, I can think of nothing else as far as Mac being shut in as this picture, right? Hood up, hat over the hood, sunglasses, smoking, leave me alone, don't talk to me, doing my own thing, right? Whether that be him in the studio or just him by himself, or him, you know, in his room, or him with somebody, like that feeling of being in a group of people but still being alone looks like this. And I know the Hermit is all about, you know, introspection and, you know, seeking wisdom and things like that, but I also feel like you can argue that for everything that Mac did. So I just wanted to kind of poke fun a little bit. Some of these cards, you'll know, you can tell, are poking fun, but that's my Hermit card. Wheel of Fortune, again, Mac holding a stack of money. I mean, there was actually a story behind this picture. When I, like, searched it up, I was reading the whole story. Like, a fan posted this picture and they told the story about it and all this shit, but I don't have that story. I don't know that story. I don't remember it. I'm sorry. Justice card. It looks like scales. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. This one is one of my favorites. This is the Hanged Man. You see him? He's in that coffin in Self-Care. I use the imagery from Self-Care in about 4 different cards. I love it so much. It's my top 3 favorite songs, top 3 favorite videos. So someone's trying to get me to go to work right now, and I'm not having that. But I love the way I oriented this one. I fought with this a lot, trying to figure out how to orient this, and I love it. And keeping it sideways and upside down for the Hanged Man just felt good. It scratched an itch in my brain to have it like that, okay? Again, the Death card, Memento Mori. This is him inside of the coffin in Self-Care. I have tiny little Easter eggs on purpose. Inside of the coffin, the little Memento Mori thing for death. I love this. I have a couple other in here. I know that for a fact, but I love it. I love it. That's why I used Memento Mori on this, because I was like putting that image on that card, like that was it. That was tops. So here's my Temperance card. I think this one was just like too cute. It was too cute not to use for the Temperance card, because again, Temperance is about like middle path. You have that angel on the card, right? This is just such a beautiful image. It looks like, you know, like a meditation picture. He's on a lotus, right? It's so cute. So for the Devil, again, poking fun, because it's kind of like the Devil is a card of addiction. I mean, that's all over this deck. That's all over Mac. That's all over him, his story, right? I can't get around that. So it kind of seemed redundant. Like, really, what am I going to put there? So just him just being a dumb kid, drinking, having fun, right? I could not think of anything better for the Devil card, because I'm like, I don't want the Devil card to be too serious in my deck, because like the Devil itself is not a serious card. When we, you know, talk about it as like a big scary card, like the Devil, right? It's such a thing, but like I don't think of the Devil that way. So that's why I kind of wanted to make like a happier Devil card. Like, it's not that serious. It's not that deep. The Tower card, this one is morbid. I'm sorry. This one is morbid. I could not get this idea out of my head, and when I saw it framed on the card, I had to leave it. This is the front doors of Mac's house, the house that he passed away in. And when I thought of the Tower, I was thinking of like buildings falling. How can I, you know, put that together with Mac? And the only thing I could think about was his house. Like, that was all I could think about. I could not get the thought or the image out of my head. And I went and I found a picture of his house, like, after it went back on the market. These are the front doors. The front doors are blue, dude. Like, fuck, man. And this one's a little morbid, because I did want the Tower to be heavier than the Seven of Swords or the Devil in my deck. And you'll see what the Seven of Swords is. It's funny. But this one's heavy. If ever there was a heavy card in this deck, it's this one. The Star card. I believe this is the album that the Star Room is on, and this is the album cover, right? This album has 1,000 different fucking variant covers, but this one's funny because he's naked. He's got the little parental advisory on him, and I framed it in such a way that the plant is still there, almost like the tree in the back of the Star card, and the girl on the Star card is naked. So this just felt like way too good to pass up. Again, I feel like most of these cards to me were like puns, but like still in like a serious, caring, heartfelt way. I don't know how to explain it. The Moon card, do I need to explain that one? That's actually perfect. There's water involved in that Moon card. I love that. The emotion, right? I don't need to talk about that one. So for the Sun card, this is the art, the single art for the song That's Life. It looks like this exactly, except it says That's Life, Mac Miller, 88 Keys, and Sia. And that's what the image is. It's this little drawn picture. I was gonna just put the sun on here, and I was like, I'm sorry, that's cute. That's too cute to pass up. For 20 for Judgment, I had to pick another fucking self-care image because that video is perfect. This is when he like rises out of the grave, right? Judgment, again, is about awakening. So this one was just too fucking good for me. The World. Of course, he has a song that's called The World Is So Small. Or is it The World? Small Worlds. There we go. You almost got me.